Welcome back to Crystal Clear on the Roundtable. I'm AwestruckVox, and lecturing to Homeworld still has us quaking in fear at the advent of White Diamond. We've already discussed why she's the perfect antagonist for Steven Universe, something later validated by Rebecca Sugar in an interview, as she alluded to the fact that in a show all about talking things out and ultimately needing emotional support, the biggest baddie of them all would be someone immune to Steven's heartfelt tactics. Someone who is disconnected from their emotions, doesn't desire that emotional support, someone who has no interest in talking things out. Considering Sugar herself stated a lot of fans' assessments about White Diamond hit it right on the head, we can assume she embodies everything that Steven isn't. Thus, our titular hero really has his work cut out for him against the Diamond of all. How will he survive on Homeworld now that he's returned under the false pretenses that he's Pink Diamond? If White Diamond dismisses Steven's attempts to communicate with her, how can she side alongside Steven, Yellow, and Blue and undo corruption? How will Steven defeat her ways? How will he reason with her? Well, the thing is, I don't think he can, and I don't think he will. There's a lot to suggest that White Diamond won't be won over like Yellow and Blue, but there's a nugget of hope that hints towards White and Steven forming some sort of alliance. Let's touch on that, shall we? Now, spoiler warning in case any predictions and speculations here end up proving to be true, you've been warned. First things first is the lack of emotional vulnerability. What immediately separates White Diamond from any previous antagonist is no psychological weakness for Steven to appease. From antagonists who became friends like Lapis, Peridot, and Topaz, to ones who didn't crack but had emotional outbursts such as Jasper, Holly Blue Agate, Aquamarine, and Emerald, to those whose future with Steven is still ambiguous, aka Blue and Yellow Diamond. All of these characters share the same trait of not being undone by sheer strength, but by emotion. Steven aided Lapis and Peridot with emotional support and good intentions, allowing both of them to give Earth a chance to be a place worthy of calling home. Topaz succumbed to Steven and Lars's bonding moment, letting their emotions speak to her in a way never done before. Jasper tried to keep her tough, cold facade, but her wrecked emotional state sped up her corruption process. Her guilt over Pink Diamond's demise spiraling from motivation into her efforts becoming utterly futile. Her rejecting Steven's emotional support did her in. Holly Blue Agate and Aquamarine never once even budged on their stances, even after Steven tried to get the ladder to open up. But their fear of embarrassment to the Diamonds played in favor of a better outcome. Their emotions once again exposed their weakness. Emerald's strange emotional investment in her ship forced her to go easy on Lars and the off-colors, leading to the craft she was using to be wrecked by Stevani and forced to retreat. Yellow and Blue Diamond were adamant on destroying the crystal gems, and likely would have shattered them all if it weren't for Steven's literal mental gymnastics. Their weakness was apparent ever since That'll Be All, and Yellow Diamond's show-stealing song. They both had guilt over Pink Diamond's demise. They both missed her. Steven unleashing his aura to get through to the Diamonds was the only way to appease their emotions and sway them to his side. Yet Steven can't pull off any of the aforementioned with White Diamond. She has no fear, no one above her, and clearly wasn't mourning Pink Diamond's staged demise, not appearing to be fazed at all when her ship and Steven arrived on Homeworld. We already gave our 2 cents on how White Diamond knew Pink Diamond survived the corruption attack. Please check that out if you haven't. From Yellow and Blue's dialogue, White Diamond is hard to please, difficult to work with, assumably when it's not her ideas being implemented. How do you convince someone what they did, what they're doing, is wrong when they're at the top, in control of everything and everyone? When those everyone else fears even fears them? When they were potentially created to be the best of the bunch? How do you prove yourself to them? Prove that your ideas are worthy of their time, when there's no opening for them to see you as anything less than an underling? I believe these things will be explored in upcoming episodes, as we further explore the relationship between Steven and White Diamond. Moving on from that is our second point, White Diamond's anger. It's telling that one of the very first things the narrative informs us about White Diamond through others talking about her is her brutal nature and temper. When arriving on Homeworld, Yellow and Blue's expressions are transformed, jumping from concerned to bleak. Yellow warns Steven to let her do the talking, lest he wind up in a bubble. They even specifically state they would need for White's temper to cool down before bringing Steven to her, which according to Blue, may take a while. although things clearly didn't go as according to plan as they hoped for. If there's been one consistent thing that has blocked Steven from getting through to others in the past, it is without a doubt the anger that stems from those opposed. Hey, that kinda rhymes. Those, opposed, toes, rows, mows. This is all literally going to the script. Anger is what blinded Jasper from accepting Steven's help. What sent Eyeball on an attempted murder spree inside Steven's bubble. What caused Yellow and Blue to keep fighting against Steven despite his verbal claims of possessing Pink Diamond's gemstone, that he was Pink Diamond. Anger from others has almost always been Steven's kryptonite, and it comes from a place grounded in reality. People tend to block things out and only believe what they want to when in a state of pure anger. Their bias takes over their perception, and it makes it hard to reason with them. Now, I've dealt and continue to deal with white diamonds in my personal life, and while my experience may not be universal, if the show's canon ends up resembling anything remotely similar to it, yikes, Steven will definitely have a run for his money. In those situations, not only does the person dismiss you, your thoughts, and your feelings in favor for what they believe in, but any sort of pushback and standing up for what you believe is right will only make things worse. That will just cause the white diamond in question to become agitated that you're disobeying their request. Now, talking to a brick wall is without a doubt a frustrating feeling, but showing signs of said frustration will only escalate things even further, accumulating into the white diamond retaliating both emotionally and physically. The more you try to ease and make things better, the deeper the hole you're digging for yourself gets. I really hope I explained that well, and yes, it's just as frustrating as it sounds. This is the vibe I'm getting from White Diamond proper, with all the context clues we have heard thus far. This leads to the biggest question of all. At what point do you realize your self-worth and your own time is beyond putting energy into this situation? After all, there is a line of dialogue all the way back from season 2 that has still yet to be truly applied. In the episode Message Received, Steven alerts Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl that Peridot stole a diamond communicator from the moon base in the previous episode. With this device, Peridot plans to contact Yellow Diamond and get her off the planet, which would have ended Peridot's short-term truce with the crystal gems. Steven, feeling betrayed and upset, goes on a tangent on how this blew up in his face. All this time spent with Peridot, singing, dancing, and bonding. Was it all for naught? To all of this, Garnet spits her hard-hitting words of wisdom. It's 'cause you believe in everyone, Steven. Like your mother, you seem to have a little bit more patience than the rest of us. But the truth is, not everyone deserves that patience. And that's the big line we haven't really seen go anywhere at this point in the series. Steven hasn't truly stopped putting time and effort into people who don't deserve it. After this entire fiasco, while things worked out then, we've still witnessed his unsuccessful encounters with Jasper, Eyeball, Navy, Aquamarine, Kevin, just to name a few. Steven has continuously exerted great amounts of time and effort into those who just may not be deserving of such. So it makes sense this particular line's payoff would be saved for a major moment and a major antagonist, i.e. White Diamond, and trying to change her mind. It goes without saying the conflict arising between the two won't resolve itself in the next episode, and we have at least another season ahead of us, meaning things are unfortunately only going to get worse from here. Steven's kind-hearted, but also stubborn, even if he's filled with good intentions. That stubbornness and refusal to give up on people will have him go back and forth with White Diamond, even if others advise otherwise. Try to pull him away, but I don't see that stopping him. After all, countless of other crypto gems are on the line. Thus, something bad and abusive may happen to Steven at the hands of White Diamond that'll serve as a wake-up call. What in particular actually ties into a recurring fan theory. I'll elaborate on that in a future Crystal Clear, but it's an extension of something we talked about before. Only once that bad thing happens to Steven will he finally have enough and pull away from White Diamond, walking away from the situation and potentially try to find an alternative cure to corruption, one that isn't as straightforward as the solution presented to us. Whether or not that hypothetical solution is successful is another story. Now on to that nugget of hope, yet it's one that still presents conflict. If Steven can't convince White Diamond to help him, how can they ever form an alliance and work things out? Well again, from my experience dealing with White Diamonds in real life, it's not about what they can do for you. It's about what you can do for them. And we've already been given the answer to what Steven can do for White Diamond, which ties back into another fan theory we've covered here on the channel, the Diamond Ship Mecha. For those of you unaware, ever since Lion 4, and pushed even more after the events of Wanted and seeing Homeworld Skyline for the first time, fans entertained the notion that if Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond ships are arms, Pink's are legs, and White's being a head and chest, that these ships could combine into one big Voltron-esque mecha. While many had scoffed at this idea before, Legs from Here to Homeworld confirmed that yes, Pink's ship is a pair of legs, and a booty, and it appears that the structure that resembles White Diamond's chest and head is her ship. It's on the same docking station as Pink's legs, and assumably where Yellow and Blue ships go, and has the same textured aesthetic to it. The episode also provided a look at how these ships function. It's controlled by the pilot moving the body part that correlates with the ship's design. In Steven's case, moving his legs moves the ship's legs. We can assume Yellow and Blue ships are controlled by their left and right arms, which means that Yellow Diamond was literally arm wrestling the cluster and reunited? Wild. As for White Diamond, maybe she moves the ship with her mind. Plays into the speculated mind powers, so works for me. And yeah, while Yellow and Blue Diamond ships are stranded on Earth for now, I believe they can be repaired. We have a bismuth, and we have a Peridot. What I'm getting at here is, I find it very hard to believe the show would establish this concept for ships that form one giant body and has been shown to engage in physical combat, controlled by the pilot's correlating parts, just to have it go nowhere. No, I believe we will see all the Diamond ships go full Voltron and merge together against some sort of final adversary. Sneeple perhaps? Never letting it go. That's our nugget of hope, which means at some point White Diamond will summon Steven and recruit his assistants for battle. That only Pink Diamond can help them pull this thing off, which sets up an interesting conflict on if Steven should help White Diamond, if she refused his request in the past, and if she abused him in the past, why would he go back now? Maybe she'll hold the corrupted gems in return, but who's to say that's a guarantee? Sure, we all know this is more than likely going to end with Steven getting what he wants, and the corrupted gems healed, but what sacrifices will be made? How much emotional sacrifice will Steven have to make to accomplish this? Well, that's where I turn the conversation to you guys. What do you think? Do you think White Diamond is impossible to get through? Do you think the only way for Steven to win is if he comes to her? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tune really to me at AwestruckVox or at the Roundtable on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Roundtable Vids. If you went out with the Roundtable girls, support us on Patreon. Get access to exclusive perks, have your name featured at the end of the video like all these beautiful, wonderful people. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications, stay in the loop with all things Steven. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. AwestruckVox, out.